Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another review for you. I know you're getting fed out of my reviews, but it's that time of year when lots of new stuff's coming out, so we see a lot of reviews. And today we have another review of a brand new product from One Man Army over in Belgium. As you know, Sven is a friend of mine, and I promote all of his products on this channel. So if ever he's got something coming out, you will see it here first generally. So One Man Army is a company, as I say, in Belgium. He is a one-man band, that's what he's called, One Man Army, and he makes various mast sets for different aircraft. And if you go back through my channel, if you search One Man Army on YouTube, there's different ways to spell it. Sometimes it's written one man, as in the number one, and then man with no space. Sometimes it's written one as in the number one with a space and then man, and other times it's written O-N-E, Man Army. So it's worth checking all three. These are all available. Everything he does is available in the UK if you are in the UK from Hannants. So it's always worth looking over there to see what they've got in stock and what's coming, because he always gets the new stuff is always shown on there before it actually comes out. It's there for pre-order. But this one is brand new. This is the masking set for doing the stripes on the wings, these dotted lines on the wings of German aircraft. So this is 1/32 scale, as you can see, and they are basically a load of masks. Now, the reason he's done these is he's seen various model aircraft built, looking very beautiful, but you can always see the carrier film on these dash lines because of the nature of them. They have to be a fairly sort of wide decal, so you can put them down straight. If they made them really thin, it would be very difficult to get them straight. So he's come up with this masking system so you don't have to use the decals anymore. And of course you can weather them and you can have the correct colours. When you've got decals, you're always stuck with the colour they give you, which is invariably incorrect. So as you can see, we've got this is the 1/32 version. So we've got 1/32 generic dash lines, German aircraft, high definition airbrush paint masks, 3 different dash lines suitable for 4 aircraft. So if you've got 4 1/32 scale German aircraft and you want to do the walkway markings or whatever on the wings, then these are the ones you want. So when we open up this envelope, you can see it's just plain paper inside. We've got some generic instructions on the back, and the most important one here is read the user manual carefully, okay? And that is very important. This is the user manual, and it is always worth reading this cover to cover, well, front to back, and read every word and take it all in. Now, some of the stuff here won't apply to these masks. For example, the centralized spacing won't apply. This here, getting the lines the same on each side, won't apply. This is from going left to right wings and everything, or port to starboard, should I say. And this bit here is all about when you're using the ordinary mast for stencils and stuff, put a piece of scrap tape underneath the left-hand corner. One, it shows you where the left-hand corner is, so you can always follow them up and make sure if you're doing his roundels and they come in a square, if you keep the left-hand corner over the left-hand corner and you keep laying down on top of each other, all the circles will line up perfectly. If you start to mix them up and turn them 90 degrees and that, you'll find the circles will not be perfectly aligned. And also it makes it really easy to get them off. This is very appropriate for this set. You can see here, this is actually a dash line mask, and you can see there a piece of the mask has actually remained. So when you put the mask down, you need to go through and just check all your stencils or whatever and make sure that none of the mask has actually stayed in there. And then going over here, it talks about using transfer tape, which you can see me doing on other videos. I'm not going to go into it now because it's not appropriate for this product. In fact, you really shouldn't be using transfer tape on this, because if you do, you'll be having to weed all of those little squares out off your model. So basically what we get in the set, you get one of these sheets here. This is the 32nd scale, as I say. So we've got different sizes of dash lines. We've got A, we've got 2 lots of B, and then we've got C. So hopefully you can see those in the light. Okay, so we've got A, which is the really small one. Then you've got B, which is the generic, sort of wide one with a wide gap. And then we've got here C, which is the sort of in between, the medium. If you're wondering what these diamonds are for in the middle and the angled cut ends, I'm going to do a practical. You're going to see in this video, you're going to see me actually using these and painting with them. But basically they're designed so you can butt them up to each other in a corner, much like you would skirting board in a room, and you can butt them together and you'll get that perfect sort of L-shape dash line in the corner, as you can see there. So as you know, Sven has always done these mask sets for aircraft, and it's always been in 1/32 and 1/24 scale. Well, he's now sort of come out of his comfort zone, and he's done these in 1/48 scale, as you can see here. So we can see here that we've got even smaller now. So you can see now the size of my hand. You can see we've got the angled cut ends as well, and you can see that I've actually used some. But we've also got these jigsaw type things on the ends. So if you look on the ends of here, you can see they have this sort of cutout in them. And then here we have the female. So you can actually end there, add this, or you can put the corner in first and then put your tape in coming away from the corner. Now, as you can see, I've used some here, and I've got a practical demo to do. So we've got this one and the 72nd scale one. Yes, we've got 72nd scale as well. And I've got that down on a wing and all masked up, ready to go. But I'm going to do the 1/32 application, obviously, because my eyes are shot. It's easier for me to do it on the camera with the bigger ones. But this is the 1/48, and as I say, you've got the same thing with the angle, so you can butt them up together. But you've also got these jigsaw type pieces, which I will show you in a minute. So that's the 1/48. And yes, as I say, we've also got 1/72, and these are absolutely tiny. You can see here, you know, those dots there are absolutely minute. Okay, so very, very nice. These are actually laser cut, by the way, so that's why you'll see some are actually cut through and some aren't. And why they're so crisp. You don't get any drag. If you try to cut something like this with a plotter, there's just no way you wouldn't get those little perfect rectangles like he's got here. You can see they're absolutely tiny. If I just grab a rule, I should have had a rule prepared, shouldn't I? Sorry guys. If I just grab a rule, you can see just how small they are. If I hold that on there, you can see that's in millimeters. So you can see they're absolutely tiny. Again, you've got the chevrons and you've got the jigsaw pieces in the corner. So how do they look? Here we have, one thing I want to show you. You can see when you remove them that the actual center pieces, there's my picking tool, you can see here that the holes remain behind, okay? And that's why I say if you use transfer tape on these, you would end up picking all of them up and putting that on your model, and then you'd have to weed them out. So this is the first time I've used these. My advice, put them down, get yourself a little magnifier like this, or the ones you wear on your eyes, and basically go around and check, because some of those little rectangles will remain in the mask. It's unavoidable because they're so tiny. You know, their stickiness to the backing paper, sometimes the actual, you know, a tiny little filament of paper left is enough to hold it in. So you just go around with a little tool and just pick them out. The other thing I would recommend is go around again just before you paint with a magnifier and check, because what I've found is even like a little tiny slither of masking tape will get in there and block the hole up. So as you can see, we've got the angles put together, and then we've got those corner pieces, which I will show you once I've painted it. I was going to actually leave them and then do all this afterwards, but I think what I'll do is I'll show you them after it's painted, and you'll see them come off and everything. And I want to see if you need to actually mask, because here you can see I've put a square of masking tape in the corner and a piece around the outside where we've got the sort of angle butted together, just to make sure we don't get like a diagonal line across them. And then on these, on a couple of them, I've put the liquid mask in there. So we'll see how they look when they're painted. But this is the 1/72 scale. This here you can see is absolutely tiny. This is the 1/48. So let's get some 32nd scale down and see how it's going to look. So I'm going to grab my tweezers and my knife. So I'm going to put, what should we do first? Let's put this long one down first. In fact, that's too long, isn't it? Let's put one of these down first. So I'm going to use the B's because we've got more of those, so I'll have more spares to use on my project should I want to. So I'm just lifting up the corner and just slowly peeling the mask away, and you can see on that one all of the little rectangles have come out. So because it's 32nd scale, it makes life a lot easier. So what I'm going to do here is lay this down. I'm just going to grab this in my finger, They are quite tough. You don't need to be you don't need to treat them with kid gloves. I'm just going to lay that down in the corner there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this end and just pull it down so it's straight in line with that panel line there. This is my good old trusty 1/32 scale Spitfire wing, which has had more decals, paints and you name it on it. So wrap that around the corner there. I'm just going to push that down. I'm going to grab a cotton bud. I'm just going to roll that cotton bud over there and make sure it's gone down over that little raised detail. After all, they don't stop the dash lines just for a bit of raised detail, do they? And then what we can do here is take this one above it here, and as you can see, the way they're designed, the end, the little rectangle is cut off the end, so when you butt it up to the next piece, it will make that little L shape that we're after. So you can pick that off of there, and again, all the rectangles have stayed on the paper. So I'm touching the masks. I wouldn't normally recommend it, but with these you're absolutely fine, because after all it is just a dash line. It's not like a little stencil or something. And then what we're going to do is butt this up like that. Make sure we get it butted up nice and square. There we go. It's not going right because the camera's on. Obviously that's the way things go. I'm just going to butt that up. It's not easy when you can't see what you're doing either. Okay, so that's butted up to there. We're just going to pull that down straight along that panel line, like so. As you can see, I can pull it back. It's not, it's not going down like the proverbial to a blanket. I can pull it back, and then once again we've got, come here, cotton bud, please. We've got the proverbial raised detail there, so we're just going to roll that down over that, push the end over, and there we go. We've got our dash lines laid out where we want them. Okay, and you can see I've not got that straight, so what I'm going to do, even though I've pushed it all down properly, I am still able to peel that back and put it down again, because it wasn't quite straight, was it? So you can see they're tough old things, and you can actually put them on and later you may even get away with reusing them. If you want to try that, I'm sure you'll be able to. Now if you look here now in this corner, we've got that line going through. If there's the slightest gap, the paint will get in there. So what I would suggest is get your cutting mat, grab some masking tape. Okay, get some masking tape onto your cutting mat, just like so, and just cut out some squares. Okay, and then we'll lift the corners and we can pick them up then. So I'm just going to get this one, and I'm going to lay this one into the corner like so, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to get another one, put it on the outside just like that. Okay, that one in the corner, I should have had it a bit further up, a bit closer into that corner. In fact, what I'm going to do is cut it so that it's at an acute angle, and then I can push it into the corner and not worry about masking over the dashes that are already there. I'm just pushing that into that corner just like so, and you can see we've now got that going right into the corner, so we'll get that nice sharp L. So now I need some sharp L. That's an American TV host, isn't it? Is it Dave Chappelle or something? So I'm just going to mask off the surrounding area, obviously, because we don't want to get paint going everywhere. So we just mask off the area around, just like so. This doesn't need to be particularly tidy or anything, just make sure you don't mask over your dashes. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the inside, like so. You can see Sven's left enough border on there that you don't need to worry about having nice neat ends on your tape and everything. And also it's got the here we go, the extra border is nice to help you keep them straight. Obviously the wider they are, the easier it is to keep them straight. And it's the same with the decals, as I just said. So there we go, so that's that all masked up, ready to go. And I am going to just put a bit over there just to give that a bit of a cover up. There we go. Right, so we'll make sure that's all down nicely, and what I'm going to do is get my cotton bud and just roll it. I'm not dragging it, I'm going to roll it over just to make sure that every little bit has gone down nicely, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to get my little magnifier and I'm just going to go along and check there's no bits of fluff or dust. With these it's not so bad. When you get down to the 72nd scale, a tiny little fleck of skin or a bit of dust or a piece of fibre off the masking tape is enough to block one of the holes up. But I guess really at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be 100% perfect, because no doubt they weren't perfect on the real aircraft. They'll be perfect on restored aircraft, because whoever restored the aircraft will take the time and make sure they're absolutely perfect, just like I'm doing here. But I can assure you, in World War II, they probably chucked down a mask, chucked some paint over, and that was it. Right, so we can get all this out of the way now, and we can come along and do some painting. So we'll get our masks put away because we don't want to get paint all over them. And what we can do, I've got the airbrush here ready. I'm just going to do a little test. This is actually LP21 in the airbrush cup. This is I think it's called Italian red. Yes, it is. It's called Italian red. And the reason I'm using this is because it's a very, very fine paint. LP it's not at all grainy. I was going to use XF7, but it can be quite grainy. So I'd recommend using like an MRP or a lacquer paint. And what I'm going to do is very lightly spray this on. The air pressure is down to about 12 psi. And what I'm doing is initially just spraying, you can see, straight onto the mask. Okay, and I'm just, as you can see, keeping it very dry. I'm not laying down any wet paint or anything. I'm just basically going over very, very gently with a very light layer. Okay, and that. Now, if you want to do an aircraft in a desert sort of crashed scene or whatever, I would say that what I've done there is probably ample, because when you take the masking away, you'll have a very, very light, very soft-edged, very faded, worn, sort of painted on line, if you like. But if you want to do like a new aircraft and you're after something, you know, that looks like this on the front of this cover, then what we need to do now is make sure we come in from all the angles. So across the top here, I'm going to come in from the side and make sure I spray, and this gets the paint right into the corner. And then I'm going to go the other way across there, just like so, and then I'm going to go like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go like that. So we've now got that painted red from every angle. Same here, and then the same here. Then we're going to go like that. Make sure we get into every angle. And I'm going to go like this, go along the line, and then I'm going to go like that and go down the line. And you can see it's as simple as that, and that is it. That's enough, I think. Maybe we'll just go over it once more. As you can see, keeping it dry. I'm never actually building up a... You can see how little I'm painting by how much is coming out there. Look. Just very, very lightly dusting it on. Okay, I'm just going to... What I'm trying to do here, you wouldn't necessarily do this on your model, but I'm just trying to get a very, very sharp, defined line just so I can show you how good these are. And what you will do with practice, you will get to a point where you know exactly what to do. If you buy the masking sets with all the stencils and everything in them, which are absolutely beautiful, you always get spares. So you'll have spares you can play with and practice with. And as I say, if you remove them carefully, a lot of the masks are reusable. Alright, so that's that done. So I'm going to leave that to dry for 5 minutes. Not too long, you don't want it to be completely dry. I just want to let it flash off for about 5 minutes, and then I'll remove the masking tape and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so literally been about 5 minutes. So we can get this unmasked now. So I'm going to put this masking down and this masking tape down and save it. So I can use it on something else, no doubt. If you've got a build going, you can always use it as a, you know, the tape you use to hold the wings together or hold the fuselage halves together or whatever. Even, you know, if you're doing some masking and you just want, like these are, just bits of gash tape just hanging around just to over mask, then these could be, you know, perfect for using again rather than throw them away. I'm just going to pick off this masking tape. You can see how difficult the tape is to pick up. You know, obviously I'm not worried about the finish on here, but this is why Sven recommends this little piece of scrap tape under the bottom left hand corner of your mask. It makes them so easy to lift up. So much easier than what I'm doing here. So we'll get all this rough tape off. Just like so. And you can see the little bits of tape I put on there to cover up the corners are coming off with this stuff. I've got masking tape sticking to my fingers now, which is always a pain. Little narrow piece in the middle. Get off. And then another piece here. I'm leaving the camera going because I know that people love to see an unmasking video. There we go. Removing these carefully so that I don't rip off the actual mask itself. I want to show you. God, blimey, this sticks well, doesn't it? I guess the thing is, these plastic parts have been in the IPA to strip them so many times they're probably perfectly degreased. This has just got a light layer of Mr. Surfacer on. So there we are. So we can see now we've got just the masks here, and you can see the chevron cut ends, as I said, and this end here, you can see this is the one that's cut like a jigsaw. As you can see, we've got the chevron there. So just going to pick that masking tape off of there. In fact, I'm going to use my knife. What I did, I used one of the ends. You can see that the shape of that piece there. If it would come off the bloody tweezers, you can see the shape of that piece there. That's come off the end of the tape. Why does masking tape stick to tweezers better than anything else? And then here's that piece of tape I put in the corner. And then here's the other piece. Just like so. And then we can see here we've got another little corner piece in there. We've got another piece here that I put on the corner just to cover that outside edge. Make sure we don't get any overspray. We'll see how successful we've been. And then finally this one here. There we go. Okay. So here you can see this is the little Lego like jigsaw piece I talked about, and what I'm going to do is remove that piece so you can see what I'm talking about. And then here's the 1/72 one there. So you can see there we've got the ends. We've got the ends there which are like they're fitting into the two slots in there. Alright. And then here we've got the same thing again. You can see we've got the ends, and you'll see there we've got a perfect corner with the tape cut like that. Now you don't get those with the 1/32. I don't quite know why. Maybe Sven thought it wasn't necessary, but we can see here if we peel this back, we can see how beautiful those lines are. You can peel that back there. As I say, I'm peeling this off gently. I see no reason why we couldn't lay that down and use it again. You can see it's going down beautifully. And you can see there That is, I've missed a bit down there with the masking, but how absolutely beautiful is that in 1/32 scale? So you can imagine that on your FW190 rather than having a decal on there. No carrier film, no nothing. And if you want to, you can come in with a sponge. This is a 2,500 grit sponge, and just very lightly sand it, and then any edges of paint you've got built up will completely disappear. But also you can weather it, you can fade it back, soften it down, bleach, you know, get it a bit sun bleached or whatever. You can see that it's just absolutely gorgeous. As with all of these One Man Army products, absolutely stunning. Now we're going down to the 1/48th, and we'll see how this corner looks. And to make matters worse, this corner, you can see it's over a raised panel as well, so we'll see how that looks. So I'm just going to lift up all these ends so that I don't risk ruining the effect with my tweezers. You can see there we've got that corner is nigh on perfect. Bearing in mind, in wartime Germany, how perfect would they have been? That one there is perfect because it's like the little Lego piece, or the jigsaw piece. And then here on the end we've got the 1/72 scale, which is, I mean, that's stunning, isn't it, guys? Look at that. Now we can see there's a tiny little square there that came out. We can see this corner is not quite as nice as it could have been. And we can also see here, you can see there where there was a bit of dust or a fleck of something in that hole, and it's made it a bit softer. But I mean, it all adds to the effect because that's probably in reality how they would have looked in real life. But there we go. There's your 1/72 scale. There's your 1/48th, and there's your 1/32. Now, if anybody that tells you that's not better than decals, they're wrong. That's all I'm saying. Right, so there we are. Absolutely gorgeous. So we've now got German flashes on our Spitfire wings as well. Beautiful. No edges, no nothing. So there we go. So that's our dashed lines. That's 1/32, 1/72, and where did I put them? Over here. Come here, 1/48. So the part numbers are 48 Gen 200, 72 Gen 200, and no, you didn't guess it, 32 Gen 600. So there we are. So there's your generic dash lines. So at last you can see that Sven has come away from 32nd, he's come out of his comfort zone, and he's now doing 48th as well. And just as a couple of little teasers, I can show you here, he's going into the generic road with his stencils as well. So these are, I think these are generic stencils for British aircraft. Now, it's pointless trying to read them out. I mean, here I've got it upside down for a start. Location for wingtip steadying trestle. Steadying trestle. I was right first time. Not to be walked on. We've got all sorts of different stencils here. So there are generic stencils for British aircraft. No doubt there'll be generic stencils for American, generic stencils for German. And these are 1/48 scale, as I say. So as I say, he's really come out of his comfort zone. So there's our generic stencils. And then here we have RAF code letters. And these are the 30-inch in 1/48 scale. So as you can see, we've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 Ys. So he's got a variation between 3 and 5 of each number, of each letter going on there. And these are the 30-inch. So they're in 1/48 scale. And he's also done 24-inch and 18-inch. So I think these are going to be like on the sides of your Lancaster and stuff, and then you'll have the smaller ones for your fighters. But again, be very, very mindful. I will mention to Sven about the different, I know that S has changed through the war. I know the S is sometimes, the top part of the S was a lot smaller than the lower part of the S, and then they actually changed to like an S shape, didn't they? So almost like a figure of 8 with the corners chopped out, if you know what I mean. But make sure you get your shapes right as well. So when you're buying these, check out on that. But yeah, It's going to be really, really nice to see all these. And also you're getting not only the outer in a rectangle, as you can see there on that Y, but you could actually, if you wanted to, you could paint your aircraft with the colour, the light grey or whatever, and put the Y on and do your camouflage, or you can use the rectangle and then spray it on top of your camouflage. You've got the option to do either. So there we go, guys. Some more new products from One Man Army. There is another new set as well, which I believe is in the post to me right now, heading its way to the UK from Belgium, and look forward to seeing that one. So there we go. And obviously I've got the set for the A20G, which I'm currently building, and I'll be using that on there. And there is lots and lots of other new stuff coming as well that I'm not going to go into, but it's going to be a busy old year for One Man Army. Thank you for watching, guys. Just another final look at those, how stunning they are. And when you think, you just watch me put those on quickly. There was no real finesse to putting them down or anything. And they've just gone down gorgeous. It's just come out lovely, hasn't it? So there we are. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. As I say, if you want to get these, if you're in the UK, get them from Hannants. If you go to the One Man Army website, which is www.onemanarmy.be, he's got on there, he's got a list. Some people say they can't see anything. On the website, if you go to the top right hand corner, there's some bars, click on there and it will give you all the different options. And one of the things you can do there is all the stockists. So you can look for your local stockist in your country. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye for now.